Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day today. Today, we're going to be talking about this custom upper receiver that I did for a very kind gentleman, the same gentleman that lent me the ZCO optic a few months ago. But today, we're going to be talking about this custom 12.5-inch Triarc upper receiver. I thought I would film a quick range video while we're out here shooting it, testing it out for him. So, let's start off with a very basic parts list. So the barrel is a 12.5-inch mid-length 5.56 from Triarc. Now Triarc, their Track 2.0 barrels are extremely accurate. Their claim to fame, I believe they have single edge polygonal rifling. Sub MOA is what they claim on all of their barrels. On top of that, I pin gauged this barrel with the mid-length gas system, 12.5-inch mid-length 5.56 at 0.076. which 0.076 on a mid-length 5.56 is perfect for a 16-inch gun, but on a 12.5-inch gun, it is very, very soft, because of course you have 3.5 inches less of dwell time, so that larger 0.076 gas port means you have a very, very soft recoil impulse with brass cased ammunition. A lot of the brass cased ammunition that you'll see us shooting is just with a carbine spring carbine buffer, and it's ejecting at about 330, so that is very, very soft. If you wanted to run this suppressed, throw in an H1 or an H2, you'll probably still be getting 3-ish o'clock ejection with M193 and a suppressor. So in terms of hot ammunition and suppressor use, very, very good. Now, the opposite side of that is if you want to run really cheap steel case, you're going to have to run a reduced power spring or a lighter buffer. Currently, we have a reduced power spring and buffer in here just because we're messing around with some Wolf 55 grain 5.56. But when I was running the carbine spring, carbine buffer with M193, we're getting ejection anywhere from like 330 to 4 o'clock. Very, very soft shooting upper receiver. One of the softest upper receivers that I have shot. But that is, of course, the barrel. It was, of course, a dimpled barrel, so I didn't really have to do anything on that. The gas block, gas tube, all of that is very standard. We have a 4140 gas block, stainless steel gas. Now, the muzzle device that he went with on here, this is the FCD Keymo, the flash hider and suppressor adapter combo. Very cool little muzzle device. Does a good job of reducing flash, reducing that vertical recoil, and of course accepts anything that takes the Keymo suppressor mounting system, which is a lot of really cool suppressors. So overall, it's a very good combo muzzle device, and it's about half the cost of a Surefire, and of course the cans are also cheaper on top of that. So in terms of a combo muzzle device, it does a very, very good job. Now the rail that we went with on here, this is a 11.5-inch Midwest Industries 7-side Mlock rail. This is actually their combat rail, which is supposedly a little bit tougher, that sort of thing. It's a very aesthetically pleasing rail as well. We do of course have 7-sided Mlock. We have QD inserts on either side for your QD sling loops. And then we have full-length Picatinny on top that is T-marked, and ventilation on the sides. Overall, it's a fairly lightweight. It's not crazy lightweight, but it is a lighter rail, I will say. It does have a very nice steel barrel nut as well, and it comes with everything that you need. On top of that, you have anti-rotation tabs on either side that are quite substantial, and you also have another anti-rotation device in the bottom of the clamp style lock onto your barrel nut. So overall, it has a very secure lockup. There's enough material here to be strong without being overly heavy. The upper receiver, that is just an upper receiver that he had laying around. I'm not sure who actually made this one. It is a keyhole forging, so it is a Cerro forging, which is a very, very good forging, 7075 T6 aluminum, hard coat anodized. Not sure who did the actual finishing work on it. Now, the next important thing on here is going to be the BCG. This is the Rubber City Armory 9310 bolt. Very, very standard-ish nitride bolt carrier group. Nothing really special about it. But Rubber City Armory is the OEM for a lot of really big names, and they just make a very, very high quality bolt. The nitriding, the finishing work, the machining work is basically non-existent on it. So an extremely high quality mil-spec-ish bolt carrier group combined with a very accurate, very well-designed 12.5-inch mid-length 5.56 barrel means you get a very, very soft shooting, very accurate, very reliable platform. I think the cost of this upper receiver with everything came into $760, not including the upper receiver, because again, he had that laying around. But overall, Not bad for the money. You can definitely spend a lot more money and get a lot less performance out of this. This is a very, very soft shooting, very accurate upper receiver, and it is a little bit more premium than some of your budget builds, and you're going to pay for that in the rail and of course the barrel as well. Now the optic setup on here, this is not going to be his optic setup. He is going to be running a VCOG, a 1:8 Trijicon VCOG, which is an excellent optic, no problems with that whatsoever, on an ADM riser mount, I believe. And what I have running on here personally, this is my EOTech 558. This I picked up over Black Friday for 450 bucks. This will eventually be part of my night vision setup. This will be the main optic for passive aiming, of course. And we have the Holosun HM3X, which is a great budget magnifier, sitting on a Palmetto State Armory low receiver with a Hyperfire EDT trigger. It's a single stage, basically just a mil-spec enhanced trigger that's very, very light, so you can shoot it very quickly. But with all that out of the way, that's the basic rundown of the parts. Let's go ahead and shoot it a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna do a build drill on paper from about 10 yards away, just to show you guys how soft this is with this setup on here. And ready on you.
Go.
Nice. Again, barely moves, we're only at about 10 yards, but that is a very, very soft shooting up receiver. Again, because we are shooting steel case currently, we have a very reduced power spring in the back here to allow us to cycle that weaker ammunition. When we switch to the M193, we will of course need to separate it a little bit. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and do 2 on the far steel, 2 on the middle steel, and then 2 up close on paper. Ready on you.
Go.
Actually, now that we're switching to the M193, we're gonna go ahead and swap out the regular spring and carbine buffer for it. So this is actually a silent capture recoil system from Trinity Force. This is their first version, and their first version was not very good. Hello? Okay, we're good. Because their first version literally had no spring tension, so this is not a reliable system. However, if you have a undergassed gun, this will actually make it run, because of course you have no spring tension on it. It's also very difficult to get in and out, which is another reason I don't really like it. There we go. Okay. All right, now we insert our regular carbine spring carbine buffer. This is just a 3-ounce buffer here, but it has a lot more spring tension on it. So let's go ahead and try this guy with the M193. All right, now let's go ahead and try that again, this time here with full power M193, and we'll go ahead and go into paper. This will be a build drill again at about 15 yards. Show you guys how soft it shoots with this. All right, ready on you.
Go.
Now that was very controlled speed, because again, we're about 15 yards away. If you want to go ahead and point down there, we're about 15 yards away from that paper. So now we're a little bit closer. These two targets are about 5 yards apart. We're about 8 yards away. We're gonna go 4 on the left, 4 on the right. All right, ready on you.
Go.
It's super soft, man. It's very, very pleasurable to shoot. So I think that the owner is going to be very happy with the way that this performs, especially with just like standard carbine buffer and spring with M193. So now let's go ahead and do 2 on paper, 1 on steel. Then we're going to run that way, 2 on the move into that paper, stop, 1 onto the far steel for the last one. I think that'll be it for this magazine too. All right, ready on you?
Go.
Oh, I can't believe I left. I put it over his right shoulder. I don't know why I put it over there. That's fine. All right, a little bit higher round count here. We're gonna go 2 steel, 2 paper. So a little bit slower, faster. 2 on far steel, 2 on close paper again, so we're going fast again. And then 2 on the steel on the right. Small steel, about 20 yards, not too hard. All right, ready on you.
Go.
Nice. I don't think I dropped any shots there, so that was very good overall. So now we're gonna work it in, and then we're gonna work it back out. So we're gonna go 2 on steel, 3 on paper, reload, 3 on paper, 2 on steel. Ready on you. We'll go from the high ready.
Go.
Love the reload, but we made it work. So we're gonna go working a little bit of positions. We're gonna go 2 from the right, 2 from the left, 2 from the knee on the right, 2 from the knee on the left. All right, ready on you.
Go.
Ooh, I tried to shoulder bump there at the end, and I could not see the target at all. Alrighty, we're gonna end it with everybody's favorite tactical drill. We're gonna do a 1R2 on the far steel at about 60. Ready on you.
Go.
Love the reload again. Alrighty guys, so there was your quick range video on the Triarc custom upper receiver. Very, very pleased with the barrel, very accurate. Still, as you guys saw, incredibly soft shooting with just carbine springs and buffers. No complaints about it whatsoever. For a sub $1,000 build, I think that everything is set up as it should be. Nothing crazy going on here, just really good, really reliable parts. And if you plan on shooting M193 or suppressed or any sort of, you know, hot M855, M855 A1 ammunition, this is going to be an excellent upper receiver setup for that sort of stuff. So with all of that out of the way though, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace off.